Google Docs is a free tool that can help you easily create interactive digital content. Many school districts already have a special Google Apps for Education domain, so you may already have a Google account for school. However, if you don't, you can simply create a free Gmail account, which will give you access to the full Google Apps suite. To begin, just go to drive.google.com or use the waffle switcher on the main Google page to get to Drive. If you're not already signed into your Gmail account, you're going to need to do so right now. Now, Google Drive is both a storage location for any type of file, and it's a place for you to create new documents, spreadsheets, presentations, forms, drawings, and much more. Here is a Google drawing that I have already created, and I want each of my students to complete this individually. Now, this is mostly a get to know you sort of activity where students can click and drag their fall favorites into the box. But you could use Google Drawing to also create content related items. Students can sequence events from a story. They can prioritize items. You can do matching. Google Drawing is simply a tool that allows you to put images in and allows students just to click and drag those around on a canvas. Now, all of the items in my Google Drive default to being private just to me. If you hover over the blue share button in the top right of the document, you'll see this is private. Only I can access it. So before I link it to a website or before I share it with students in my learning management system, I need to change the sharing setting. So I'm going to click on the blue share button to get started. Now, Google is inviting me to share this document with specific people, and I can enter their Google addresses right here. When you're working with a large number of people or have several students, it's pretty tedious to type everyone's name in there. So instead of individually listing people, I'm going to adjust some overall settings for my document. To do that, I'm going to go into the advanced settings that are linked here in the bottom right. This brings up the full sharing settings window, and I can again see that this document is private, only I can access it, and that's what I want to change. So I'm going to click the blue change option. Right now, I have 3 settings. It can be on, so it's public on the web, so that it would actually show up in searches, or it can be similar to an unlisted phone number, where anyone that I send or share the link with is going to be able to do certain things. So once I choose on anyone with a link, which is my preferred level of sharing, I have 2 options. The access level below can be either the person who clicks the link can view this item, they can comment on it, or they can even edit it. Now, I want each of my students to fill this out individually, so I'm going to leave this set as can view. That will force my students to make their own copy of the item, and then they'll be able to fill it out and submit it to me. So I'm going to save those changes. And the link to share the document is right here in the sharing settings window. If you click done, it's also the same thing as the address that appears at the top of the page when you see your document. So if you copy this address, and I'm going to switch to a different browser. I'm in a student account right now, and if I paste this link in here, you can see that my student is able to view this item only. She's not able to click and drag any of these. She's not going to mess up my master. In order for her to be able to complete this activity, she'll just go to File. She'll make a copy. Google make a copy of this Google document and put it in her Google Drive. So now she has her own copy of it called Copy of Fall Favorites, and she's able to complete and then submit the assignment to me. If you want your entire class collaborating together on a Google Doc, you can do the same thing, but you'll adjust your sharing settings a little bit differently. Here is an example. Here is a feature versus news article activity that I want our class to do collaboratively. So I'll assign certain groups to look at the openings or leads of a couple of the articles we're going to read, and another group will look at pictures, another group will look at use of quotations, and so on and so forth. So we're all going to collaboratively investigate 2 of the mentor texts I'm going to share. So I want my students to be able to work on this together. I don't want everyone to have a separate copy. I want this copy to be one that all the groups of students collaboratively work on. So again, I'll go to the blue share button. Again, I'm going to go into the advanced settings. Click the change link next to private. And again, change it to anyone with the link. But this time, under the access level, anyone with the link is going to be able to edit my document. So if I choose save, copy this link. Keep an eye on my item right here. I'm going to switch over to a student account. And unlike before, when the student was not able to edit this item, the student is able to type directly on this document. If I go back into my teacher view, I see up in the top right that then Anonymous Fox is in the document. This is the student who is collaborating, and I can see her changes. Creating collaborative documents leads to some very unique classroom activities. Here's a Google spreadsheet where I use that same sharing setting where anyone with the link was able to edit this document. I gave each individual a country, and then that user went into the CIA Factbook and filled out these stats, these statistics for the country they were assigned. So we were able to very quickly as a class create this data table, and then we used the built-in graphing features of Google Sheets to do some nice data analysis among the different countries. So if you are looking for a powerful and free collaborative tool that will enable you to create some great interactive content, the Google Docs Suite is definitely one for you to check out.